This presentation attempts to help better understand media literacy and its importance to society for a flourishing democracy. Our kids are our future. Teach them well. Schools worldwide are fundamental in youth knowledge. Media literacy has been around since the 1970s, but many educators still don't understand where it fits into the K-12 classroom. Media literacy broken down means media, plural of medium, and literacy, which means the ability to read, write, and comprehend. We know what media is, but we need our future scholars who can read, write, think critically, and contribute to society. Media literacy has become the 21st century skill all students should learn in order to decode the messages constructed by multiple media outlets. Media literacy is not a new subject to teach, but a new way to teach all subjects. Teachers should first decide whether they are media literate themselves. They can ask themselves, what is media literacy? Why is it important to understand? Why being media literate helps create a healthy democracy? As a teacher, once you figure this out, you will know the right questions and activities to engage your students. As a good teacher, you understand that you do not need state-of-the-art studios or equipment to start integrating media into the classroom. Incorporating media literacy concepts into the classroom is as simple as pulling up last night's primetime news or commercials, then asking students what they thought the clips meant, which then expands self-expression.
It is no longer enough to simply read and write. Students must also become literate in the understanding of visual images. Our children must learn how to spot a stereotype, isolate a social cliché, and distinguish facts from propaganda, analysis from banter, and important news from coverage.
created using Powtoon.
So, for example, one group is going to have to come up with an advert for a car aimed at an elderly woman, which is quite unusual because normally cars are aimed at young, up-and-coming males. Okay, and obviously I want them to have some fun with it, and I want them to be able to be creative and to not necessarily go with the way that it's always done, but also to be able to think carefully about every single word that they choose and the images that they've put across. What did you get? A cell phone for a female teacher.
The groups choose pictures from magazines or draw their own pictures and write their own advertising captions to create an advert which will be interpreted favorably by their target audience. This forces learners to think about the connotations their readers will draw. Not only are the learners developing media skills, but they're also practicing a variety of language skills.
I think on the whole they've been very creative, I think, which is great. I think that they've really tried hard to appeal to their particular target audience. But what I have noticed is that on the whole they have kind of done the way the society, I think, would expect.
We chose this particular box because, I mean, businessmen like glamorous things, even where they put their Cuban cigars and stuff.
Advertising works with stereotypes. Part of a good media lesson is to develop a learner's media literacy to a point where they can see through these stereotypes.
The washing powder, the container is a masculine container as opposed to a soft feminine one. So in a sense, I think that's what works in advertising, and that's the way that advertising does do it.
Mr. Dobson, is when I see what's on cable TV, some of the movies, I mean, some of the violence in the movies that come into homes today was stuff that they wouldn't show in X-rated adult theaters 30 years ago. This stuff...
The slasher movies that you're talking about.
That stuff is, I'm telling you, from personal experience, the most, that is graphic violence on screen, particularly as it gets into the home to children who may be unattended or unaware that they may be a Ted Bundy who has that vulnerability to that predisposition to be influenced by that kind of behavior, by that kind of movie, that kind of violence. But I'll tell you, there are lots of other kids playing in streets around this country today who are going to be dead tomorrow and the next day and the next day and next month because other young people are reading the kinds of things and seeing the kinds of things that are available in the media today.
I hope you enjoyed the animation of the life of Cairo and Mrs. Hope. You are probably wondering why they were given their names. Mrs. Hope is the hope of the world of educators worldwide who at first, in denial, come to realize media literacy is essential. Connecting media literacy to the state standards for subject areas is currently a major challenge of the media literacy movement. We the people, especially our teachers and the entire school faculty, should and I believe will begin exploring and finding a number of ways to teach basic skills that they are required to teach, using media literacy approaches that engage their students in hands-on, high-interest learning that lasts.